Welcome, Dennis. This is Dennis Mikolay, who is running for the City Council. Dennis, introduce yourself to the voters of Long Branch and tell us things about your story that we should know.
Sure. My name is Dennis Mikolay. I'm running for City Council. I'm a resident of West End. I have a bachelor's degree in political science, a master's degree in public policy, and I'm currently a part-time evening student at Rutgers University School of Law, where I'm working towards a Juris Doctor. I'm pretty familiar with the political goings-ons of Long Branch because for several years I was a volunteer contributor to the Atlantic Highlands Herald, where I wrote extensively about the various goings-ons in town and various different developments in terms of the political situation. I decided to run because I want to give something back to the community, and I think I'm pretty well suited to do that. When I was in undergrad, I interned in the executive branch of the state government working in constituent relations. When I was in grad school, I also had an internship dealing with constituent relations, although that time it was in the legislative branch of the state government, and I spent 2 years following my completion of graduate school working in civil service before moving on to my current position as a physician's office assistant at a cancer center in Manhattan. So I have a lot of experience dealing with people, I have a lot of experience dealing with complex situations, and I have a lot of experience helping people, and those are all things that I hope to bring to the City Council.
Okay, interesting. Is the fact that you said you live in West End, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that motivated you to run for office too?
What motivated me to run for office primarily was that a lot of the people whom I had met when I was in college or graduate school who had always intended to stay in Long Branch and had made clear that they wanted to, one by one, when the time came to buy a home or start a family, they started to move to neighboring communities, mostly to Ocean Township, a lot to Eatontown or Asbury Park, and it was because it just wasn't affordable in the long run to stay in Long Branch. And it's interesting because as I began talking to people, I realized that there's a parallel to that, because not only are people who are just getting out of college and entering the workforce being priced out, but also people who are nearing retirement age or who recently retired are also beginning to wonder, is it really fiscally responsible or even realistic to remain in my home for the near future? And I think it's sad that the era of multi-generational families in Long Branch seems to be coming to a close. But it's not too late for us to change that. We can still bring back affordability to the city. It's just going to take a change in the direction of the city government.
Okay. Which would lead me then, since you've moved on to why, as a part of the reason you're running for office, in the next 4 years, if you're elected, what specifically would you do to work on that affordability? Because every campaign I've seen in this city in the last 2 decades, people have talked about the same issue.
Which would be, I assume, redevelopment.
Well, no, it would be affordability. I mean,
Right.
people affording to live in, and of course, the same issue that everybody in New Jersey talks about, property taxes.
Property taxes. Property taxes are a huge problem in many communities, but the issue in Long Branch, and one of the main reasons that taxes seem somewhat out of whack with property values, has to do with the redevelopment program itself, in that when you have a successful redevelopment, the property values in a community rise, but the taxes go down because you've added a new boost into the local economy. In Long Branch, we've only had half of that equation. We've had our property values go up as a result of the redevelopment, but at the same time, taxes are staying high, and that's in large part because in the different phases of the redevelopment, we've been issuing various tax abatements to the developers. And what happens with that is a tax abatement is intended to incentivize development in an area where it otherwise wouldn't occur, where it's not desirable or economically feasible to engage in a project like that. That really doesn't apply to our oceanfront, which is evidenced by the fact that they're selling multi-million-dollar condominiums there. So we can start addressing the property tax issue when everyone starts paying property taxes on the same level, which in my view means going forward, we can't undo what's already been done, but going forward we need to change the way the redevelopment is working so that it doesn't burden the taxpayers anymore.
Okay, if I understand the argument correctly, or what you're saying is that when property values go up, property taxes go up, but there should be some kind of something in that. Because I know that's happened to me. My home, the assessment has raised, and my property taxes have gone up, which doesn't make me happy.
Doesn't make a lot of.
Although when I resell my home, I'll probably love the fact that it's worth a lot more.
The issue is that when you have a successful redevelopment and you have more people coming in and paying their fair share in property taxes, that's money that's used to offset the tax burden on the other residents. With the way the redevelopment has played out, with all of the tax abatements at Pier Village Phase 3 or South Beach or other areas like that, and there's probably more coming now that Lower Broadway is going to get moving, those developments are still impacting the city as any other homeowner would. But they have a tax abatement, so it's on the other homeowners, those who don't live on the ocean front, to make up that difference. And that's why property taxes are so high in the other areas of the city.
Okay. What's your vision of Long Branch in, say, 10 years from now?
I want Long Branch to be an affordable and inclusive community. I believe that our strength is in our diversity, because if you look at Long Branch as a whole, we don't look like any other city at the Jersey Shore. We really don't look like any other community in the state as a whole. It's just an incredibly diverse community. And it's important that going forward we make sure that every one of those neighborhoods and every one of those families that make up Greater Long Branch is able to actually have an affordable future in our city.
Okay. Final statement to the voters for why they should vote for you.
I would appreciate your vote because I have experience in constituent relations. I'm passionate about this city, and I'm a good listener, and I am an independent thinker. So I would appreciate on May 8th if you would vote for me and my running mates Edward Anastasio and Avery Grant.
Okay. Dennis, thank you very much.
Thank you.